Hello guys, my name is Delia, and in this video I'm going to talk about two different ways of speaking, which are the active form and the passive form. Okay, let's begin with an experience that I had yesterday. Yesterday I was taking out the trash outside my house, of course, and then a neighbor approached to me and he asked me if I heard the news. Okay, he told me that the bank near our house had a robbery. So I asked who did it, and he told me that two men, of course, unknown. Okay, and then I figure out that sometimes in the active way of speaking we give more importance, of course, to the doers of the actions. Okay, so what is a doer? A doer is something or someone who does an action, or something or someone doing an action. Okay, an action, of course, is an activity. And the receptor is the receiver of the action of the doer. That's why we can call it receptor or receiver. Okay, because it feels all the impact of the doer, of course. Okay, so if we check the main idea of the conversation that I had yesterday, two men stole a bank. Alright, the active voice is the most common way of speaking, or the most common form. Okay, why? Because we have all the elements together. We have the doer, that in this case are two men. What is the action or activity? Stole. Alright, what is the receptor? That means who received the action of the doer. Okay, the bank. Alright, so if I want to express the same idea in a different way but without affecting the idea itself, I have to inverse, or I have to switch the order of the elements. Okay, like in this arrow that I have here. So in this case, the active voice or the active form of speaking gives more importance to the doer, and the receptor is, of course, less important. In the passive is the opposite, so I give it more importance to the receptor and I leave the two men in a second place. Alright, so if I do exactly what I explained, my idea is the same. A bank stole two men, but if you analyze, this doesn't have any sense. Alright, so it is not that simple. Alright, so we need to structure our idea so it can be, or it can have the same meaning. Alright, so let's begin here. First, what I need to do, I need to give it more importance to the bank. So I put the bank in the first place. That will be my receptor. Okay, what's next? I have to use a helper which expresses what is happening, or what happened with the bank. For that case, I need a helper to describe, and that helper to describe is the to be form. Okay, but this is an event that happened yesterday, so my idea is in past. Alright, so I have to respect the time in the active voice, and I need to use this form in also past. Okay, so I'm going to use, of course, was, which is the form correct for a bank because it is singular. Alright, what is next? I'm going to use my action in the third form of verbs we have, which are these. For example, here I have my action in present, simple present. The second form is the past. So the third form is the one that I'm going to use. In this case will be stolen. Alright, we always use the third form of the verb in this passive form of speaking. Alright, so I place them here. So what's next? I'm going to use a connector that expresses who did it. Alright, and that connector will be by. Okay, and now I left two men in the second place. Alright, so that will be my idea in passive form of speaking. So if the active form, I say two men stole a bank. But in the passive way, my idea is a bank was stolen by two men. Okay, if you check, both ideas have different structure, but the meaning continues the same. Alright guys, so what if I have another different structure in my active voice? Okay, it will be an ing sentence. Okay, the process continues similar, but of course we need to make some changes. Let me explain you why. Okay, let's imagine a sentence with an ing verb. Okay, now we have different elements. I have my doer, I have my helper, I have my ing action, and I have again my receptor. Alright, so what is the process? Again, the same. I give priority to the receptor, which is the walls. Very nice. So, like the previous example, I need the helper because I am describing a process. So, this is in present, as you can see. So, I select my form according to the walls. Now, the walls is plural, so my helper will be are. We place it like here. Now, what is the difference between the previous example and this example with ing? Always we have to place the be or the general form, but in progressive, which is being. Okay, because my ing active voice will be modified here. So I always place being after the helper. Always. Okay, don't forget. This is mandatory. Okay, so I already have an ing action. So it won't be necessary to write painting again in my passive form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to modify this action into the third form of verbs we have. In this case, this is a regular action. So my third form will be paint is the first, painted is the second, and the third is also painted because it's a regular action, such as the ones which end with ed. Alright, that is the characteristic. Okay, so I place it. Right. The same process at the end. The connector, which expresses who did it or who is doing in this case, by, and the last, my doer, which is Paul. Okay, so my active voice, Paul is painting the walls, and the passive form, the walls are being painted by Paul. Alright guys, so in conclusion, we have infinite possibilities in the active or passive. Why? Because we can transform an active sentence into a passive in any of the times in English, such as present, past, future, etc. Okay? Well, I hope you like the explanation. So that will be it for today. Thank you for your attention. My name is Delia. See you around.